Alright. So, welcome back everyone. Today we're continuing on with more Remnant 2. So, the pulse rifle has been itching in the back of my mind. It's been fairly annoying. Let's see, where were we? Oh yes. We also need to check him with Mudtooth. Let's see how much scrap do we got? Oh, 500. Alright. Brain. What is it? What am I doing? What am I doing? Anyway. The pulse rifle has been driving me nuts. However, I figured out, after some looking, that we can still get it. The area where, brain, why are you not functioning? The area where we use these items. Let's see, oh yeah, that's the material. Still need more Luminite crystals. Codons. Anyway, the objects, the place where we need to get it is still there. It just has a couple of different. It just has like a couple of different potential spawn points. So we'll be able to get it. And
Traveler. I knew you'd say that.
They also updated some things. Okay, they haven't. I'm not 100% sure.
Until next time.
I don't know if the patch came out yet. I think it did. A couple of the weapons, the Enigma, and the Night Weaver weapon was were nerfed. They were performing way too well. Is this the dude where we get the handler? I don't know. They were performing way too well. And rightly so. So they went ahead to nerf them to bring them back in line with some of the other weapons, just to make sure they were, you know, evened up, because they were pretty powerful. So there's that. We're still gonna use them, obviously. The fusion rifle, or the basically the laser gun. We may still be able to get that. We're just gonna have to double check on something, because that ship we were in on Narud, that fallen ship that had that scanning thing, we let's take Mission's helmet. We have to get another piece of equipment, headgear equipment, that's there on Narud. I'll have to double check on the area, because it is a random tile spawn. It doesn't make sense that the two would spawn independently from each other, but whatever. It's not like we won't be able to get it at some point in time by either re-rolling the adventure, re-rolling it in adventure mode, or re-rolling the campaign after we do it. They've also supposedly made it
Hey
easier
again.
for...
I hope his stories you want, 'cause I got plenty.
They've also made it possible
I
for
warn
us to get...
you, once you try a bite, you'll want more.
They also made it much easier for us to get, Okay, nothing. Is there anything that we must sell? Not simulacrum. Let's see, ionic crystal. Nope. This is material. I don't know what this is for. Let's see, Sephiroth, Xenoplasm. But anyway,
I'll be seeing you then.
they made it easier to,
Need, young'un?
There was a bug where, Mudtooth here wasn't giving the rewards.
Well now, I appreciate a listener as good as any. But even old Mudtooth can't talk
like,
forever. We
completed a world, and we haven't gotten anything. So we may have gotten settled with the bug.
What? I just
So it's supposedly the bug is supposed to take care of that bug and remove it. So we're gonna go here to Naruto. So we got Formless, Phantom Wasteland, Horizon, Astropath, Titan's Reach. So Titan's Reach is the general location of where we were supposed to go. Okay. We can't even enter. So I'm guessing so we're gonna have to finish up the labyrinth. That's fine. That is okay. We still need to get more Luminite crystals to, get the Enigma. But right now, we're here, in this area. We're still working on, getting our handler leveled up enough. I believe this is the boss fight. The Labyrinth Sentinel. I think it's more of we just had to... Ooh. Okay, so we just die instantly if we get crushed. Okay. That is fine. I did not know that. I figured that was gonna be the case, but I forgot that it was gonna move that fast. I didn't understand that it was gonna move that fast. Alright, so... I screwed up there. Again, this one's gonna be an annoying fight, I can tell. Just go ahead and do this. Ah! Okay. Okay, so those are things to block to make holes. Gotcha. Now I understand it. Now I understand it. Alright. Boom. Alright. Jump over here. Crap! So this is all about pattern learning. This is all about pattern learning. One up here. All right. So. Aw, man. I'm right there. This is very much all about paying attention to those...
All right.
to these bright spots. This. Keep ourselves safe. Oops. Oh, this is so frustrating. But I know how the boss fight is functioning, I'm just not getting the timing down right. Which is okay. Man, it's hard to get those glowing spots because those are the only things that you can hit. None of my we go. Alright. There's one. Alright, so that one should be here. Oh. Never mind. This is what makes this map so difficult. This thing's so difficult. I don't have... that. There we go. Ooh. Okay, never mind. I underestimated the distance on that one. This one is annoying me, because it's sitting right there. I can't get to it. And this is not like a normal boss, where I can just target the weak spot with these. Like, I had to wait for these cubes to move. I can't even hit that. I wasn't even able to hit that one. Let's see. I can go get it. This one. There we go. Alright. There's one that appears there. There we go. Alright, I think this is a safe spot. This guy moves. There we go. Alright. There we go. Darn it! But I was being very patient. And that's what it found. I think this fight amounts to. You just have to be patient. But I've been getting it. man. Screwed that one up. Let's do that. That way cooldowns are much faster and I don't have to solid. Turn it. Ooh. That was a bit too close. Alright, so that one's done. There we go. Oh, man, I think I almost had it. I think that's the last one I needed, and I wasn't able to get that one. So close. Almost had it. It's okay though.
All right, let's do this.
Go. Alright, this guy. There we go. It's a relic. Darn it! I got trapped. Didn't want to take any unnecessary damage. This is annoying.
All right, let's do this.
There we go. Try that. Come on. Where's the last? There he is. Alright. Jump.
This ain't good.
Please don't tell me that screwed me over! Oh, Jesus! Oh, that was too close for comfort. Here. There we go! Whoo! We did it! Alright, let's see. Melee size, speed distance, siphoner. Always smart to increase health.
Bag's full. Oh, bag's full.
Well, we managed to do it! Yay!
Yeah.
We also got ourselves Complex Prism. Now, I don't know if there's a... Okay, this is only a single reward. This doesn't have any, like, alternate things. This is where we should be able to start getting the, other bits and pieces to, just that. Let's check out. Always remember, exploration is key here. Alright, so this just leads us into a whole bunch of other thing. That brings us to there. So we check out this direction. And I think... yeah, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything else. So anyway. But we can go back to War 13 and check out what the material will give us. Obviously the Luminite crystal cost is still going to be there. Because it doesn't look like the patch has rolled out yet. Which is good. All well and good. It just means things are... we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer in order to get stuff. Now, the irony is one of the weapons that we got in the first game, we tend to get in here, but it's much...
What is it now? What do you need?
I don't see. It's the cube gun. Alright. So we can get the Enigma and the cube gun. Let's see. What do we want? Darn it, this is such a tough decision. Because we're left with 2 Luminite crystals anyway, and only 300 scrap. This thing has an infinite ammo and has an overheat, but this just has the, this just had the, oh, they're both so good. 25, 25. You know what?
Yeah.
We've been working on getting the Enigma, so you know what? We're gonna get it. Let's see. What regenerates? Mod. This, we're not really getting a lot out of. Max health. Just gonna recoil. We'll do that. Increases mod damage. Using a mod regenerates 10% max health over time. Increases health regeneration. Let's see, 200% regenerated. Health regenerated as mod power. Dodge. Increases range damage based on the current weapon's overheat value. Let's do that. Let's switch over here. Let's see.
What can I do for you?
Can we upgrade? Wait a minute. Oh, that's the Aphelion. That's right. We don't have the scrap to do it.
You know where to find me.
But you know what? We're gonna go ahead and just equip the Aphelion anyway. But now we have just the Zax. So this puppy is pretty good. And then we have the Aphelion, which we just... There is no rapid fire enabling for this one, sadly, but it's pretty good. And then you have its mod power, which does the supernovas thing. So... But if we had grabbed the cube gun, then we would have, went ahead and equipped the ring that, that gave, increased damage for overheat. That way, the cube gun would be much more stronger.
Wonder what that is.
Wait, hold on. This has a max ammo capacity. So why am I only at 100? Let's see, that's 49, 42. Oh, wait a minute. No, yeah, 25 loaded. Whoops. Brain. Still have this puppy, which is good. 60 is a weird... It's definitely not an interesting amount. But here we are. And hello. Is this gonna be a fight?
Wait! Stop! I know them! They're my friends! Please! What are you doing here?
You saved my ass. I'm here to save yours.
Wow. You didn't have to do that.
Well, you were pulled screaming into a giant crystal, so I kinda did.
Right. I guess I would have done the same. But how did you find me?
To be honest, I'm not sure. But I think it has something to do with this.
That eyeball.
They risked their life to find me. You can
I
trust
think
them.
that's what's remained of the Keeper.
Anomaly.
What? What are you?
The Keeper.
The keeper of what?
The realm in which you now reside. All realms.
That's the Keeper.
All my mandate
Wow.
to protect.
What is it talking about?
This is the labyrinth. A place between worlds. Connecting the worlds. The Keeper protects all of them from the root. We got them out of Earth, but the others...
There is little time. System failure is imminent. This segment. Where did you find it?
I killed something, and it kind of fell out.
Interesting. A failsafe.
Is that bad? Sounds bad.
No. It's... good.
The index can be repaired. 3 outcomes emerge. Where once there was one.
We could do it. We could end the root.
More segments are required. The anomaly will retrieve them.
Wait. What about her?
The tide must be stemmed. The utility must remain.
The utility? But you mean Clementine?
Yes. Clementine. Corruption tears at the seams of this realm. Yet the doorways remain. Gateways to other realms. This key grants passage. Find the segments and return them to me.
Alright. So now we have the
Hey,
biome.
Traveler. I hope it didn't cost you too much to find me. I'm so sorry. You shouldn't have had to come after me. I'd have told you if I could. So, how's the ward? Yeah, that sounds like Bo. Well, if you see him again, tell him I'm fine. More than fine. I'm... at peace. Not that that'll keep him from worrying. No. Not that I've bothered to look. That old man's got his own journey. Same as me. I do. For so long now, I felt lost. Especially on Earth. I felt like I was living someone else's life. I joined the Dreamer program with the promise of making a difference. A chance to do something that mattered. I thought I'd found it on Reesum, but it didn't last. It wasn't real. But these powers, everything that's happened to me, it's all been leading me here. This is where I'm meant to be. This is where I'm needed. No. I mean, maybe? I don't know. It's complicated. There was a time I thought the ward would never be home again. It still isn't. Though, it doesn't mean it won't ever be. But I'm needed here now. That's all I know. That's all I need to know. I can't go back, Traveler. Not right now. Nothing that'll make sense, probably. The labyrinth isn't what it looks like. But it also is? Let me try again. Most of this place is like thought and energy. There's so much more to it than what your senses see. I only know that because of my bond with the Keeper. I mostly feel the labyrinth, like a heartbeat, or sunlight. And like both of those things, it's connected to everything. It is. Like, more complicated than I think my brain can even handle. Try asking the Keeper about it. Their answers might not make much more sense than mine, but at least they know what they're talking about. Yeah. Good luck, Traveler. And hey, if you see the ward again, tell Bo... Tell everyone that I'm okay. You don't need to worry about me.
Alright.
Corruption spreads, yet the anomaly has questions. I have provided the maximum help that I can. All endeavors will fail if I do any more. You are the resource now. Find the segments and return. Kidnap. Misnomer. The utility was required. The ability has been acquired. The utility consents and remains. Clementine bears the nature of both core and guardians. The utility understands what is needed. She understands the Keeper.
The Keeper from the first game was a bit...
On my own, the utility is a necessary resource. Necessary,
a bit more helpful
but insufficient.
in the first game.
The segments are required. Entity Clementine was key to stabilizing the system, to preserve the worlds. I am the Keeper. I was the first to rise. I will be the last to fall. The seat of all worlds. First the core, then the labyrinth, then all worlds that are, were, or shall be. The core has been purged of corruption, yet corruption remains. All must be purged. The labyrinth must hold fast, must be last to fall. The labyrinth is the connection of all things. It is the seat of the worlds, built upon the core, and all worlds are built upon it. Little that has not been said. Their origin is unclear. Their existence unexpected, yet ideal. A failsafe in the event of utter collapse. The segments repair the index. The index purges the corruption. New outcomes emerge. The anomaly's involvement has altered probabilities. Altered them further. Find the remaining segments. The Creator. The Creator. Obscured. The Creator is the Creator. Anomaly. What does it require?
Let's go ahead.
The first was extracted from an entity of great power. Logic dictates. The others are dissembled within the same. Search the worlds. Seek out other powerful entities. Extract the segments within them. unknown. The intersection of worlds with surviving entities of sufficient power, and worlds for which corruption has not made them untraversable. The intersection is small. Start with one, then search another. Hesitancy irrational. Either the anomaly erases one life, or the root erases all. There are no other outcomes. Short-term outcomes are likewise simplistic, for the entities in question erase lives as well. Erasure is unavoidable, entropy deliberate. This one seeks to maintain the cycle.
Alright. So, we now have the... We now have the biome portal key. The only thing is, we don't... It's unclear as to how or where we're supposed to use this. Okay, we still can't access the room. So we come over here to Fractured Embers. It sucks because if I had known... Let's see. Okay. So we come over... I had a different weapon, I don't let me use that. We came the wrong way. Did we? Yes, we did. We need to go up. We need to go up, not this way. So basically, we just pick a world and go. Let's see. It's supposed to be... Oh, wait a minute. No, that path is closed off. It's up in that direction, I believe. That there was the extra path. Anyway, we don't have anything left here to get. Where this thing? How dare you? Only got some scrap. Alright, so we don't know which world is which. And we'll see if we can open up the other one. Because either way, we'll be coming back here. There is... something we must have missed.
Shit!
Dangerous neck coil. What does this do? Increases status effect damage. Amplifying damage status effects creates 5. Amplifying a damaging status effect creates a 5-meter explosion for 20% of the status effect's full damage.
Come and get some.
I probably should have just picked the cube gun. Because the Enigma is pretty good, just not... I don't know. Okay, there's something else around here. Let's see, can we open up this as well? Yes, we can. Alright, so we had the biome. So we did that. Let's see, there's that. There's like an entire area that we also... There's like an entire area that we haven't gotten to either. So... Right. Well, these are dormant. We're gonna check out the other doors. And I know one of them is Narude's door. So... Ruin. Their sanctum. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, there's a portal over there. I'm trying to remember how to get there. That's the broken portal. Alright. Alright. This is supposed to be a door here. That must be Narude's door. Either that or that's Narude's door.
key.
Let's see. There we go. One good thing about this weapon, we got a significant amount of crowd damage. Forces itself into a wall. I'm gonna have to go ahead and switch out the Aphelion to this because it's not really that good. I mean, it can be pretty good if you're if you got a lot of enemies that you're aiming for, but no, we could have just got up the stairs. Whoops, it's fine. There is only one area. Oops. Totally messed that one up. Trying to figure out. There's that area. There's that area. There's that wall. Alright. through there. Yep. Let's see. This leads us here. Alright, so we got a Limonite crystal. And this is the corrupted one. Okay. So that stupid portal over here. This is driving me nuts. But you know what? We'll deal with it later. We got everything that I need to get from this area anyway. So, we'll either get Geisha or the other new world, Losum. Let's see. 'Cause there has to be a portal that leads there. You know what? I'm curious enough, I'm gonna spend some time looking. But yes, I really like the Enigma, but I really should have gone for the cube gun. Alright. Let's do this anywhere. Here. Alright. So... This takes me over here. Alright. The unfortunate thing is, I know there's because it's that portal over there, and it's an active portal, which means there's something that it's linked to. I don't know how to get over there, except for there's that. Unless, of course, it was where we got the Enigma material. But that was... Let's see, portal to there. That had to be where we got the Enigma material. There's no other way. Let's see, we only got 400 scrap. And 4 Luminite crystals. So we only need 5 more. Which means only 5 more elites to go after. So we're just gonna head back. We'll pick a portal. And we'll pick a portal and go. And like I said, we'll either get Geisha or Losum. Literally nothing but stagger. What the heck is that? And then, of course, reload. Luckily for us, we got some more scrap. Luminite crystal as well. So, let's just go to this portal here. First one. That's there. We'll still have a chance to get an archetype. Okay, so here's Yeisha. Definitely recognize this as Yeisha. If you want to, we can go back to Losum. We can go back and go to the Losum. But I think we'll stick with Yeisha for now. Yep, here we are in Yeisha. Now, the thing is, depending on...
Whole other world? How many of these are there? Find these segments, huh? While Clementine and that talking ball of light hang out and meditate? Sure. Yeah. Sounds fair.
So here we are at the Red Throne. Oh, it's an elite already. But we only got some scrap out of it. Sad. Let's go to this side first. Since we're here in Miesha, here's a book. The sun, sister first of the four. The moon, the warrior of light. Life, the ether, and the matter of the four. Death, the great transformer of the four. The doe, the fleet-footed incarnation of life. The ravager, the fanged incarnation of death. Calamity. So the doe and the ravager basically exist in a life and death. It seems almost like the Panar also come from the Crow world, but it's unclear as to why. It looks like this is just lore points, but the doe and the ravager are integral to Yesha's existence, as one is the doe represents life, the ravager represents death, and the two of them are more or less the representation of the cycle. So now that leads us here to a dead end. Run out of stuff fairly quickly with the Enigma. Something that increases maximum ammo, or things that can give us more ammo, is definitely good for the Enigma, because it does burn through. I should have gone the cube gun, because the infinite ammo, even though it's only a 5-shot capacity, we get those shots back every single time we reload or hit an end, or they reach max distance. So, but I was so excited for the Enigma. The Enigma. Blah. Cut it in English there. Let's see. And as we can see here, there are root growths. And this leads us to... Okay, this leads us to a direction that we need to go. So we come the other direction. To see if we can... We may have accidentally put ourselves further.
Boyana, come. Come. We have been waiting. That's far enough. Paxeldeck. It stands before the Eternal Empress, mistress of the Red Court, favored of the Thane. Yet it is nothing. Hoofless, feckless, interloper.
Easy now.
And where it stands, it dies.
Whoa, maybe we can talk about this.
Dafka. It seems it shall live. For now. But tell us, Paxeldeck, what woes does it bring this time? It stands before the Eternal Empress, once and future ruler of Yesha. Her Majesty asks once more, what brings the Paxeldeck to her court? Answer, for eternal life is not the same as eternal patience. Her Majesty is unsurprised by its solipsism. From the Krell to Ford to the Destroyer, Paxeldeck ever served the wants of the self. There is no name more cursed in these royal halls. When the pestilence came, Ford succored the schismatics. Treachery turned to ruin. Ruin to desperation. Her Majesty would see Ford bleed, would see all Paxeldeck put to the blade. But the Paxeldeck prowess is fearful. Ford, the Destroyer, and others were staggering, undeniable. Perhaps Paxeldeck's strength can serve to liberate rather than oppress. Her Majesty, in her eternal wisdom, will grant it grace. The Paxeldeck's life in exchange for another's. Her permanence has spent many lifetimes communing with the Thane. The Holy Tree grants euthanasia, but also clarity. The Paxeldeck needs salvation, power to overcome the only true enemy. Do not demur, for it has not the guile to see beyond her eternity. All dance to the same world song. Different notes, different parts, same tune. The Paxeldeck seeks the abomination. It would slay this creature, and her eternity would see it slain. In this way, it will prove its loyalty and worth. For her Majesty will not. It deserves death, yet spits at the alternative. Her infinitude is too gracious, yet let it decide. Her permanence savors either outcome. She desires only to bring the Nunyatav back to the pen, to draw her people back from the abyss created by the Sundering. But the abomination bedevils her will. A horror, wretched in her sight. Let the Paxeldeck face this dark spirit. Be not her bane, but her blade. Then the Paxeldeck shall have its reward. Ask then, but do not test her eternity's grace.
So we can either get into a fight here, or we can choose to do whatever this is.
Does it need a reason to obey eternity? Perhaps hating the fiend as we do would sharpen its edge. We once had a guardian, a god of many faces. This one of many was destroyed by Paxotech. And now, in the Guardian's rotting remains, root and ruin have entwined into a horror and mockery of divinity. Just so. Peace and greatness, Paxotech. Nunyun Tav will once again return to the Eternal Court, bringing immortality to the deserved. And the Deathless One will put her hoof through the black heart of the root. The end of the root is a blessing to all. Her eternity.
So, we now have an indication of really what the boss
oblivion.
that we're going to be dealing with. Give me 1 second, let me turn the light on. But we now have an understanding of what the world boss is going to be. There was either going to be the Corrupted Ravager or the Corrupted Guardian. So the Ravager was going to give us a pretty good weapon, but it's also one of those choice things that that will basically determine what we get out of. There are 4 distinct possibilities, which give us 4 distinct items.
When the dark spirit wormed its decay into our god, the husk of the blessed Thane grew malign. The eternal ziggurat was torn asunder. Our world now hangs by its tendrils, and our future by a strand of hope thinner still. Its sympathy is poor recompense for what its kind have cost the Pan. The foolish Kuri could sooner comprehend the desires of the sun than the Paxotech could grasp the powers of her permanence. It speaks above its station. We do not explain ourselves to Paxotech. If it asks again, her answer shall be written in steel.
So, the, So, we can get into a fight, if you want to. Or, we could, just agree to help out. And just not worry about that. So it looks like we are,
The path to desire is neither easy nor safe. Go forth, blade. Cut away the rot that plagues this world. Prove there is one Paxel tech that is more useful living than dead.
So, more or less, we just get sent off to kill the corrupted Guardian. Not too bad. Not too problematic. We could have gotten the Ravager as well. But this just kind of solidifies. It either solidified the route, or it, or it just gives us a little bit extra option. We could have fought, and, we could have fought her, or, the guards, but we, get to do great. We'll end up, we could have gotten something else out of it, but we decided, but, eh. But we may or may not have been able to skip that and gotten the Ravager. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. So here we are at the Withering Weed. Now here is going to be here at Yesha is where we can get the Summoner archetype. So we could also head back and start. Ooh. Okay, so here's Rot. So, let's just heal up. However, it requires a certain, instance to spawn. That, a certain altar to spawn here in the map. Called the Blood Moon Altar. And, alright. Is this an enemy? Here we are. And we had to collect little, these little blood moon fly things. That are around. That'll give us the, basically the currency needed for us to... The currency needed for us to buy the item. So we can turn it into the Summoner archetype. But it doesn't look like we got it here. So, and there are deer that will run into you when because you startle them. But it looks like they're not able to make up their mind which direction they want to go. But there's also some other stuff that could spawn in here as well. Guardian's Ring. Woo! Hello. We've also now leveled up our handler again. That was 6. But that's only if the instance shows up. Okay, that's a checkpoint there. Let's head this direction first. This is such a good weapon. Alright, nothing over here. This could just very well be like one giant loop. But there's also a separate instance where, there's also another instance where we have an NPC that we can talk to. Trait point. Let's stick this in endurance. I'm gonna max out those two first before anything else. And the other thing the patch is supposed to fix is that it should make the Orb of Undoing, which is the item that's used to respec your character. Alright, I found on me. Where is it though? Oh, there you are.
Here they come.
Kinda weak. Alright, so let's check. We got 6 crystals. There we go. Yeah, this was kind of like a... This is like a massive open area. And with there being a checkpoint there, definitely makes me feel like that's not the... That's the way to go. So I want to go a different direction to make sure. But once we get enough, if we get enough before we have the opportunity to get another weapon, or another... It's good to be able to take on multiple enemies, and be able to take them out as well. It does still do pretty decent damage for single target as well.
Here they come.
Alright. So, this little majority of the area over here has been explored. Alright, so we have...
Oh, great. Now I'm hearing music.
We have the pan flautist! Alright, and this is also the direction we need to go.
Oh, Paxultek, we must speak again. Friend Paxultek, it returns. But of course it has. Long ago the Paxultek and I spoke of songs and... Ah, of course. It is not the same Paxultek. Forgive me. These horns, it does not have them. A new friend then, hmm? So what brings it to beleaguered Yesha? It speaks of the one of many. The once god and guardian of the Pan. There is, or was, no being in Yesha more powerful. Yet now it is corrupted. It rests now within the Thane, befouling its very leaf and limb. Travel through this temple to the far woods and on to the Widow's Court. The Thane can be found thus. But beware, friend Paxultek. The Thane is a dark place, bedeviled by the rot that now consumes our forest. Tread lightly. Of course, Paxultek. Quite so. Paxultek have graced this world for generations. The Elder, the one it calls forth. The Destroyer, to whom many faces fell. The Wanderer, who faced the Ravager and lived. Alas, songs are not sung of Paxultek, but I am blessed to have met many. Its kind bring this one joy and song. I rest only. These lands have not been safe since the one of many was taken from us. Yet none have bothered me here as of yet. The forest dies, Paxultek. The balance has either failed or betrayed us. There is little hope now, except in song. Even now, yes. Corruption swallows all things, and the balance is held in check. Or perhaps the balance turns against the Pan. The outcome is the same. It began slowly at first. A remote grove in the forest. Then the death of our god. Now, even the beasts, the gods, and nature itself succumb to the rot. Some blame Paxultek. But though Paxultek have come and gone, the rot both precedes and remains. If fault lies anywhere, I think it may lie with the Pan. Praise be the one of many. Mortal faces lie, but the one of many is incapable, veracious beyond question. So goes the song. The god of many faces has watched over every generation of the Pan, even before our people found Yesha. Even when our songs praised the tree over the god, yet our negligence brought a cost. And the one of many was killed by, forgive me, a most recusant Paxultek. Now the waning of our great tree has allowed corruption to come, infecting our once mighty guardian. I fear greatly for Yesha, friend Paxultek. But we must hold faith in the balance. Ah, the Eternal Empress, Genas the Perennial, Mistress of the Thane, favored of forgive me, great Genas has so many titles, I can scarce remember them all. It was she who discovered the Tree of Life, and it is she who brings peace to the Pan for generation after generation. The Thane is our life, the Empress our root. Yet the tree wanes, and corruption devours Yesha's every corner. Her divine permanence has protected us for long and long, but is she as enduring as the songs say? Listen to me. I must trust the songs. Hope and faith are kin, and one cannot have one without the other. May it return again.
Alright. So there's gonna be a puzzle associated with him. There usually is. You have to basically play the song that he's playing, and it'll earn you a reward. However, depending on where you need to play the song is can be a little bit difficult because you have to memorize what the song is, and then you had to find the spot to play it, then you had to figure out what notes are what. It can become a little bit of a nightmare. But we'll eventually get to it and figure it out. It'll drive me crazy, but, you know. So we found the direction we need to go, which is sending us to where the abomination is. Well, where it's quotes-unquote the abomination. Wait a minute, where is it? Where'd it go? It must be down here. The big thing is, hopefully the instance we need to get the summoner archetype spawns here. Would be nice to get access to that. Have more archetypes. At least from the first playthrough. So we don't have to run around doing excessive searching for it. But if it doesn't spawn, then, you know, we'll just find it in adventure mode. Or re-roll the campaign after we go through it. There are extra rewards we get from beating the game on, or at least the story form, on harder difficulties. And one of those is the ever so delightful this checkpoint. We can get some stuff here as well. This is an area where an NPC is, and she can give us some stuff. Like I said, I really want to get the Blood Moon instance, or be able to potentially find the altar. So we'll fill out the rest of the map. Let's see, everything... Okay. Oops. Gotta go this way. But we're not gonna worry about talking to her. One of the bosses of, like, as I call them, the through dungeons. Basically, the dungeons that are in between, the different outer world tiles, or, areas. Oh, we almost got hit by that one. What? Who? Where? Oh. Really? But, can't even pick that up. Oh well. It's fine. Basically, one of the bosses drops a material, drops something that we can use here. As like part of the sequence. to initiate the fight. And, okay, so it's nice to know that archetypes level up together. Alright, so there's a dungeon instance. Either a single, most likely a single instance. And when we get the opportunity, we'll just switch over to the... I like the Enigma, but... I'd rather have the cube gun, because it's a little bit more reliable. Plus I can also output some damage a bit better. But I lose the capability of being able to hit multiple enemies in such a way. So this will lead us to a single instance. But we'll come back and for the checkpoint, and then we'll hit the after we finish exploring. We'll hit the checkpoint, and then we'll... There's something here. Chest. We're definitely going to be able to have... Alright, let's see. One stack of bulwarks when within 7 meters of an enemy increases 2 stack. Increase it to 2 stacks for 10 seconds after taking melee damage. Not bad. Pretty good if you're playing more of a tank. Here's another chest. And we got an armor effectiveness. So this may actually be something here. So let's just go ahead and go. If it is... Now, the thing that we get from it... Forgotten Field. Okay. This may not be it. But the thing we get from the boss fight related to that other NPC... Let's see. Okay, we need 2 more Luminite crystals. Alright, so here is the Forgotten Field. We have floating mountains.
Never seen anything like this before.
And they shoot homing projectiles. Alright, let's see, how do I want to do this? There's multiple paths, as usual. Okay, nothing else up here except for just that. It's still... Still leads us over here.
This isn't it.
But there's a trade point. Alright. So that just got us over there. Let's Let's see, mod power generation, skill cooldown. We'll probably focus on these 4 traits most. But it's kind of difficult because, again, we're limited in what the number of traits that we can have. So it makes things a little bit more difficult. You have to come close enough so I can hit you with a shot. Alright, there's some leaf somewhere. Oh, really? Ooh, that set me on fire. Alright, so we got another Luminite crystal. Which is good, because we'll soon have the ability to get the cube gun. Now the only real issue is that alright, let's see. Seems like the path is leading us in that direction. So, we're gonna come this way first. Because it seems like he's decided to attack things. Okay. That's fine. Ooh, crap! We gotta be careful with these guys! Luckily for us, we have a weapon that hits multiple enemies at once. Alright. It's a bit more than necessary. And sadly, we didn't get a Luminite crystal out of it. But we can still come back up here and check to see what the heck this thing has to offer. Because this is an elevator. Okay, it leads us to a Slayer's Crest. And a gold serum. Stamina reduces stamina consumption. Okay, so we need one more Luminite crystal. Yay. Let's see. And we got another ring. Increases melee damage when attacking enemies from behind. Okay. Not something we're really gonna be using. So. It's also that direction. I mean, more or less. And thank goodness we have our health regeneration rings. which will be significantly more useful in more difficult modes of the game. Let's just go around this direction. Because we just need one more Luminite crystal. And this leads us to here. Alright. And that was just an overbridge, a bridge that just went over that area. See if there's anything interesting on it. Nope. So I was pretty much right. It was sending us in this general direction. Luminite such as projectiles you could destroy. Let me make it so much easier. Nothing sitting up here. Okay. Alright. We're gonna get away.
Whew.
Alright, so let's fill out this section. Down there. Nothing. Huh. The only part about this game that can actually get tedious. The exploration part. Which is also one of the most important parts of it. Here, we have this letter. This here. Okay. So we now filled out all that, so now we can go. Yep. Now we can move on. Now we may or may not get the boss that interacts with the NPC. So we'll still interact with them because they do still give us an item, but we won't we won't get a weapon that they can give us.
More weapons.
There we go. We now have the Luminite crystals that we need. Oop.
Glad that's over.
And that was an enemy that we dealt with for a very brief period of time. And that we couldn't kill in Remnant 1. It was just very much a... Well, we could have killed them, but it was difficult. And we've also faced these flyer guys as well in the first game, in the Resum DLC. So we more or less had a... We've dealt with these guys before, but now we're strong. We're a different person. And we're technically stronger. Ring of the Force, Spirit. I cannot English. Relic healing effectiveness by increased by 15%. That'd be good if we relied on our relics for healing. But since we don't, we don't need to really use that. But it's nice to have it anyway, because builds can be a thing. So if we... Now, of course, if we check our... Let's see. This was upgraded. Alright, so movement speed while carrying heavy weapons is increased. And then... we stand near, we have damage reduction. I mean, once we get this to level 10, which, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Once we get this, the handler max out, we'll just switch the two of them. And by the wonderful thing, we can go back to War 13 and grab the weapon, the cube gun. And we'll still have a chance to be able to get our hands on a...
Yay, you're back. What do you need?
And now we can get the cube gun. We required 7, not 9.
We're finished here.
So... let's... switch... over.
Oh, traveler.
Let's see. Still lacking the scrap. Let's see, there's Enigma. Yeah, we're lacking the scrap. We have just shy
You know where to find me.
of the scrap that we need to just get an upgrade. So,
Back again, huh? Here to chat, I hope.
let's check to see if he's got some
Careful
more...
now. My
stories.
answers are known to lead to more questions. Sure can. Well,
Here we go.
let's see. So this wanderer comes up to visit me at my heliocopter, right? They're decked out with guns, but they walk up and ask for stew and a story. I'm thinking they'll get tired, wander off, and take my story somewhere else like all the rest. But they don't. They listen to all of it. And I think to myself, this mother actually wants to hear these. Reminds me of my ma, tell you the truth, the way I'd listen to her, and the way my boy Brabus used to listen to me. Before he turned away, that wanderer reminded me of family. And that's the most important thing, ain't it? So I figure I ain't left long for this world. So I give 'em my wife's old watch in thanks. Ain't too long after that, my boy Brabus comes back in person, first time in years, with a watch chain peeking out his pocket. I knew a good thing when I saw it. I didn't say nothing. Just welcomed the boy back like nothing had changed. Family's the most important thing we got in this world, young'un. Don't forget that. Sure can. Well, let's see.
Alright, let's
Ain't no
exhaust the
one on
stories.
this planet more beautiful or dangerous than the Moth Queen. She rules an old swamp about 100 miles off in, that direction. Folks say if you climb one of these here towers on a clear night, you can see the swamp lights a-flashing. But them ain't no ordinary swamp lights. And she ain't no ordinary queen. She don't lead her people, who really ain't even people, come to think of it. They're of course I'm awake now. But them ain't no ordinary swamp lights. And she ain't no ordinary queen. She don't lead her people, who really ain't even people, come to think of it. Anyways, the Moth Queen draws her folk to her like a moth, I guess. That's how the saying goes. Anyway, she captures folks with her beauty and her mothy pulchritude. And she never lets them go. She infects their mind so they never want to leave. And she turns them into something else. If you head off that way, keep your wits about you. 'Cause that swamp used to be a city as big as this'n. But no more. No more.
That sounds like a potential DLC. And it sounds like the Iskall Queen from Forces.
Let me see here. I ever tell you about the Shrouded King? No, it ain't a book. It's real, I tell you. Real as every damn story I know. He's the king of another world, see? And his world was overrun by the Root just like ours. Or at least it was gonna be. The Shrouded King, he got his people together to draw as much power as he could from his own ding-dang-dingity son. Used it to make himself a weapon. Soon as the Root showed up, he fired the damn thing. Now the king, he knew what was about to happen, but he didn't tell nobody. That weapon weren't just gonna scorch the Root. No. It scorched the whole dim darn dingity world. Burned the deadwood to hell out of there. Killed half his kingdom and twisted the other half into something unrecognizable. And that's
He's talking about Rom.
he wears a shroud, see? Because he done twisted himself in the process. But he don't want no one to see the mangledy bits of his face parts.
He's talking about Elizin, the Undying King from Rom.
Oh, here's a good one. Did I tell you I once sailed across that ocean to that old rusted tower? It was after that wanderer came through here and cleared out the storm. Old Mudtooth's crazy, you know, but I ain't stupid. I tell you, I saw things down there that you ain't never seen in your life. Down there in that rusted place was just machinery and roots twisting every which way, like the root themselves had built it. But they didn't. No, that old place was called Ward 10 and 7. You can see it plastered all over, and it was built by humans. By the folks Ford himself used to serve, if you can believe that. Oh, he'll deny it, I'm sure. But all them electronicals they got down there are the same damn things you'll find in old Ward 10 and 3. In that place, I know he found it. He's the founder, after all. What were they up to down there? Now, that's the question. I heard some answers myself, but I don't know if I believe them. There's a story for another time. Stop me if I told you this one already. I ever tell you about the time I killed 300 deadwood in one go? Whoo, that's a tale. So, I lived up in this old, Helio-Chapataka-ter-whatchahoozits great sniper's nest. Let me pop off deadwood from a mile away. But one night, I wake up to a rustling and a howling, right? I look outside, and there's deadwood all around the place. Hundreds of them. But they don't stop coming. And I'm thinking, this is finally it. But then I see tucked away behind an old building the cracked open end of an old gas main. So I squint my good eye and pray to Kennedy, Jeebus, and Cash. And I squeeze the trigger, and my bullet flies through the air like a hawk to a coney. Caw-caw! It scrapes the pipe, and boom! Whole damn horde goes up in flames. Not a single one of them left. Deadwood never did bother me after that. Sure can. Let's see. Ho-ho! I've been telling tales about the Ford family for years. I tell you, nothing about them surprises me no more. Like old Commander Ford, one who used to run this here ward. She was the youngest of the family. She's the one what brought most of this town together. They say she's dead and buried, but they don't know the truth of it. See, the thing about the Fords is... Of course I'm awake. Now, they say she's dead and buried, but they don't know the truth of it. See, the old commander were the youngest, but she ain't the last. Old Ford, her grandpa, is still kicking here in town. Crazy old man went and fought the Deadwood head on and lived. Her grandmother was half Root herself. Folks used to call her the Root Mother. And oh, she were a twisted one, let me tell you. The thing about the Fords is they can't die. Not a single damn one of them. I mean, look, they all thought old Ford had died long ago, and there he is, plain as day. I don't care what anyone says. I swear to you on my unborn brother's life, the other Fords are still out there somewhere, too. Here, right good listen, Tater friend. Tell you what, though, I'm a little light on the stories right now, but you look like you could use yourself some company. I got just the cure for that. And I ain't talking about my stew this time. Take this and check back with me later. I'm sure I'll have some newly re-remembered stories for you then.
All right.
It's a
So we got the gunslinger's ring.
I tell you what.
Yay. And we're just gonna sell one of those. Alright, so let's see. Generates 10% max health over 10 seconds. So the Gunslinger's Ring increases firearm, swap speed, and reload speed. So we're gonna put that on. And we're also gonna upgrade the cube gun.
What can I do for you?
There's Enigma. Cube gun. Alright. And I can't do anything else.
Be safe out there.
Let's see. Okay, power level is 7. But yes, we can now get some progress into getting the Gunslinger's item. But yes, we literally have infinite ammo. We just have a... With this weapon, we just have to worry about its, let's see, and change this out, because the overheat is what's important on this. Yep, it increases damage the closer it gets to being overheating. But that's a pretty good weapon.
Well, ain't you a I'm just pulling ya. Name's Brabus, and I run security around here. I also make sure folks here, a lot of folks still ain't chummy with this whole rebuilding society business. I should know. Damn straight. I used to be one of them.
Alright, we're just gonna skip through his dialogue.
Now, but a lot of folks keep your gun loaded and your wits about you, stranger. Hope you ain't causing... Now we're talking.
Alright. So we can get the marksman, or we can get this, which gives us the archetype, the hunter archetype. But that costs 1,500 scrap. There's also... He also sells us all the other...
Remember,
for most of the other... For most of the other, archetypes, their starter weapons are available. He sells. And I say most of them, and I do mean most of them. Alright, so let's go back here. There we go. So, but the if I decide to make another character, which if I'm gonna do like nightmare mode, especially if I have like a hardcore person character, which only one of the, you can only get access one of the weapons by beating the game with a hardcore weapon, I think on like veteran mode, it's best to have other people to play with. Alright, so... Forgotten Field.
Blade and spear, shield and stone. To arms, they come. Alive. Would that I were not. Doomed to watch the world wander past in rot. And what wanders past today? A Paxotech. A terrible wonder, even for one who has seen many wonders. If its kind walk Yesha foreigner, then
Surely the wheel of the world is set to turn again. Perhaps. Perhaps it will grind me at last. Pain now outweighs peace in the measure of my days. God murderer. The traveler tried once. She came upon me at first light, when the dew had not yet fallen from the grass. A carpenter, and daughter of a carpenter who was a carpenter's son. The branches took her at once. I wonder if her saw is still clenched within her fair hand. How came I to this wretched state? Its eyes reached the question, before its tongue left home or hearth. The tumbling ruin beneath its tender pads was once a fortification, an encircling bulwark to the greatest conurbation ever brought forth on Yesha's soil. Such faith we put in its solidity. Merchant and marshal, peasant and prince, their souls kneeled at the altar of within and without. But a wall is a false god, built to crumble. The only thing a wall ever truly divides is a fool from his wisdom. The rifts open swiftly. They split the bulwark stone as a hot needle kisses the onion skin of a boil, and the pus poured through on tangled wooden limbs. Yes, the final calamity. Their numbers for 40 days. We fought them on these steps. The soldiers fell first, then the officers. Then they called upon the priests. We knew the children would be next. And so, we flung our very bodies into the breach. Some were torn apart like green shoots in a glutton's teeth. Others were swallowed whole and vanished from the sphere. I stuck, anguished cork in the malign bottle. It seethes around me. It waits to disgorge its grotesqueries once more upon Yesha's scalded skin. Please, Paxotep, wanderer, it who would do right, put its edge to this cursed snarl. Vent its rage upon it. I shall greet death as an old friend, and we shall go hand in hand to the horizon, leaving the suffering of this blasted heath far behind. Destroy the knot. Please, Voyager! Its weaponry is handy! Do not...
Alright.
Got enough of that.
Alright. Still have some enemies. There we go.
Can't carry anymore.
Reinvigorate.
Hey. Am I? Is this real? Or has insensate madness claimed me? Paxaltech. I have not tasted air unmixed with the foul humors of the tangle in an age's age, nor dared I dream that I ever might again, much less feel the soft touch of good soil beneath my hooves, or the kiss of the wind on my free fur. Faithless, faithless have I been, and yet Paxaltech came, with war in its right hand, and temperance in its left. The Paxaltech came, and I am saved. Two-handed warrior. It has my allegiance, whatever may come. Paxaltech have a gift for death, this much is true, but they are not all destroyers. Perhaps if it fights with us, perhaps the root may yet be crushed under the wheel of time. Take this, though it be a relic of Wheelamer, stewards of death. Wield it in defense of life. No thanks is needed, for I owe it a debt unpayable. I think I shall linger here a while yet. Many are those who fell on these blood-soaked steps. No, some are now naught but bones. They each deserve the funerary rites of royalty. These I shall endeavor to complete with whatever time is left to me. If its road should ever wind this way again, grace me with a visit. There are yet tales of Yesha, I might tell it, if it cares to hear them share. On the contrary, it has been ages.
Let's see
since
what his
I
dialogue,
felt
what
so
stories
very
he
much
has.
alive. Let us first be properly introduced. Once I was
While he's rambling on, I will be right back.
foremost of the Lamir. High priest of the dead. How I gloried in that title. Would that I had known the irony.
Alright.
For many epochs, the Highborn did not fear the flow of time,
Ugh.
for the fruit of the Thane tree kept it at bay. But there are other ways to die. Misadventure. The Eternal Empress dreamed of defeating this final terminus. If life could be taken, could it not be given back? The flesh was preserved against that question's answer. This was the province of the Lemir. A funerary priest of the deathless, the Highborn, one who wraps the powerful in glory, and a Muslim who seals the secrets of the Eternal Empress with sweet seed oil and with night sap. We guarded the flesh of the great and sought their resurrection. Among these trusted sacred pan, I was the utmost. I relish the favor of her permanence. More fool I. But let us start at the beginning. Much would I have it know. And to know all, it must know what is first. Would it hear the history of the pan? In the time before time, the pan lived in the place that was. It is said that there came a great plague that ravaged the land so that the fields were seeded only with the bones of the dead and yielded only the cries of the bereft. With his flock drowning in woe, the leader of the pan held forth a great decree. 100 ships were built to hold 10,000 souls, with their god of many faces cutting the waves before them. The pan that were ventured across the Vilkmarza, the dark sea, through the long night. The Vaughn's prayed and the Red Widows wept, for no one knew if the dark sea had a far shore. 100 days lit the 100 ships, and 100 nights drew their swaddling across them too. But on the 101st day, as the Red Widow in the foremost ship bowed her horns to the god of many faces, a bird lit between them, singing, "Glory to the pan, for they have reached the kin mother." Yesha rose like the dawn before them, unseen, untamed, and free. In those days, there was no empress. There were no queens. Kolket the Wise passed on the dark sea and left no heir. It was only agreed that the clergy should step in where Kolket had stood. The Vaughns spoke for the many-faced one, and the Red Widows spoke for the sun, stone, sky, and stream. It had been ever thus. Now, they linked hands to cradle the destiny of the pan. The king who was, him known to the pan as Kolket the War-handed, later Kolket the Woe-begone, and at last as Kolket the Wise. Quick of blade was he in his youth, a fearsome general who watered the tree of progress with the lifeblood of many enemies. But the exploits of youth brought Kolket no peace in age. They say he took the plague as fate's judgment against his warlike eye. Fate offered a choice: flee the land of his fathers, or end his line as the king of death. Coquette hesitated no more in pilgrimage than he had in war. He raised up ships as once he had raised regiments. He sailed from the place that was with a heart full of hope. He was never to see Aesha's shores. He passed in peace before the crossing's end, greeting death with grace. The god of many faces had been with the Pan since the place that was. Longer. None speak of a time before its guardianship. It was a god as real as the soil beneath us. A god one could visit, a god one could touch. Its ways were not known, but all agreed it loved us and ever would. More would I have it here of this, for this tendril twines with its own. But patience two-handed one, each thing in time. For 80 days, the Vaughn's fell prostrate upon Yesha's unfamiliar shore. They prayed for a sign that our searching was over, and that this forest should be ours. On the 80th day, two forms emerged from the depths of the jungle. First came a doe with coat of red. Where it walked, the soil gave forth flowers and sweet berries, and they took it as a sign of grace. But behind the doe came another, a wolf with fur as lightless as the obsidian waves the Pan had so lately crossed. Surely this great beast was a portent of death. Yet desperate were these threadbare priests of old, and of these visions to their charges, these Vaughns spoke only one. And why not? The doe fills all who glimpse it with a spirit of hope and a sense of growth. It leaps among the shrub and bramble even now, even with Yesha sundered by the root. There are those who think it more than a spirit, a god in waiting. These call themselves the children of the Red Doe. The carpenter's daughter was one such. May her faith be rewarded. May her spirit roam the forest alongside the doe forever free. Those who glimpse the doe often glimpse the wolf, for the latter seems compelled to pursue the former. To hear those early Vaughns tell it would be to hear of many different wolves in pursuit, and only one doe. A simple deception, but a far-reaching one. Modern Pan know the truth. What must it be to spend an eternity chasing that which one might catch but may not kill? For the wolf and the doe have often met, antler and tooth, hoof and claw. The doe may spill the wolf's blood, and the wolf may taste the doe's flesh, but never the other's life to take. Yesha itself forbids it. They say the chase has driven the wolf quite mad. With the assurance of the Vaughns, the Pan took to Yesha and she to us. And for a time, there was stillness. Men were born who had never known the land that was, nor the endless sea at their backs. One such was called Genus. She was but 15 springs when she felt the calling of the Red Widows, and not 3 more when she felt the touch of sickness. As Genus approached the door of death, she sought her sisters, for there were no lamer yet, and it was the Red Widows who ushered the Pan into the soil. But Genus's malady was known to the Widow Mother, to her, to the Elder Pan. It seemed the plague had found them again, even on this distant shore. Genus was shunned, cast out into the jungle, and her name was forbidden from Pan lips. None among them could have foreseen what would come next. Plague-ridden and scorned, the Red Widow Genus had been cast into the jungle to be forgotten. But fate had other plans. After many days in the jungle, Genus emerged. The Pan were humbled, for all signs of plague had been lifted from the young Genus, replaced by a regal gait none could deny. Fascinated, all assembled to hear her tale. And quite a tale it was. Genus spoke of a vision that had come upon her as she lay in the moss, gasping out her last. In her vision, the plagues had returned. Pan, young and old, wailed and keened and spat their last blood on Yesha's pristine sand. But then, when all seemed lost, a great tree rose out of the jungle, strange and wonderful, and heavy with luminous fruit. This tree, the Thane, she named it, gave all who ate of it a life unending. The Pan embraced it, and their glory stretched on for 1,000 epochs. Genus rose to power on this. A spire built of words. By spreading her message of doom and salvation. The Red Widows were easy converts, inclined to believe their sister, and eager to spread her vision to all the Pan. In time, they held more sway than even the Vaughn's. It was a great shift. It would not be the last. Among the Red Widows, Genus was quickly elevated to Widow Mother. The crops flourished, and the villages spread. The jungle receded from the shore. It is difficult to say. Genus has had charge of her own legend for an age of ages. Suffice to say, there is enough truth to her vision for me to know her personally, though I was born some 30 mothers hence, and yet, in knowing her, I find its question impossible to answer. But we get ahead of ourselves, two-handed one. Many seasons passed, and Genus grew stooped and lined as all Pan before her had. In her 77th winter, Genus had another vision. The Thane called to her, and she told her people it was time to seek it out, for the calamity was imminent. 500 Pan were assembled to undertake the expedition. Genus herself, a contingent of Red Widows, a party from each of the villages. Many imagined they would never see their queen again. Those that lived long enough came to know the taste of those words. When Genus, now as young and beautiful as the day she first beat death, emerged from the jungle once more, with 49 immortals at her back, she had been reborn a second time, as an Empress Eternal. For years they searched the forest, battling hunger, storms, and beasts red of tooth and claw. 20 winters passed. Many succumbed to death or to doubt by the 21st spring. Only 5 red widows and 44 common pans stood at Genus's side. It was they whom she led into the clearing. It was they who beheld the Thane. It was they who tasted the fruit and felt time's weight fall from their shoulders. No plague has touched the pan since, but calamity wears faces nearly as numerous as our god of old. Unless I am much mistaken, the Empress lives yet, for no funerary smoke has filled the sky above her ziggurat. If the pan vanish from Yesha's soil, I imagine she will be the last to depart. With death thus leashed, the eternal Genus and her immortals brought forth an empire heretofore unknown. Great ziggurats were hewn from the living rock, and at their feet grew great cities lit by arcane magics. Genus's prophecies all came about, save one. If only the pan of that epoch had wandered as it does, two-handed one. What of the great calamity? But none worried, save a few vaunts. The old ways were dying, and the Empress was not. No achievement seemed beyond the reach of the pan. It was then that the wolf came. But the story of Yesha is the story of who tastes the fruit of the Thane tree. 49 immortals begat many more. A deathless aristocracy. They traded favor with the Empress, traded years of life itself like fishmongers at market. They called it the Ravager, the very obsidian beast the vaunts of old had glimpsed and hidden. It sprang from the jungle as sudden as a squall. It made no more than mutton of the bravest warrior. Fear fell like night across the empire. Death roamed Yesha. Ravenous death none could tame. There were those who would have seen the beast slain, but the Ravager was never much glimpsed that the red doe should not follow. And vice versa. The green things of the jungle sprang from the red doe's feet. But on what do green things grow, if not the flesh of departed life? Who knew what would become of the doe if the Ravager were felled? Who knew what would become of the jungle? Who knew what would become of the Thane tree? It was the twice humbled vaunts who kept the empire from vanishing down the Ravager's throat. For the vaunts had pondered the beast since it first appeared to them on Yesha's shores. It was they who had learned to listen to Aethir's song. They who learned to appease the Ravager with tribute, with dance, and with music. Balance returned, and the wheel of time rolled on. The song of all living things. It permeates our forest. It whispers in the leaves, thrums in the soil, shines in the sun, babbles in the stream. The vaunts devote themselves to the song's mystery. They play it to tap its power, as other pan might use the energy of a crystal, or the heat of a flame. Those attuned in prayer hear it strongest. But all may catch its strain from time to time, even a Paxeltech. Who is to say? For that was hardly the last calamity to befall the pan at Yesha. With the Ravager appeased, the Empress dreamed of rule eternal. She should likely have had her wish.
But for one thing, the Thane tree, that of the fruit of immortality, began to die. For many lifetimes, her permanence hid this knowledge from all who served her, slave and immortal alike. And why not? She had amassed a great store of fruit, and surely something could be done to save the tree. Why crack the very bedrock of her society? But the tree's decline could not be arrested. Fruit was rationed. Noble lineages withered. We lay mere, once prepared for the final death of death. Only those immortals who had fallen in battle or by misadventure. Now, we found ourselves winding wizened nobles in sap and muslin by the hundreds. Perhaps what came next was inevitable. Rebellion, insurrection, revolt. This was the fire that was to sweep through Yesha's jungle. For a life of lifetimes, the Eternal Empress had hidden the decline of the Thane tree, but like the Vaughn's of old, had underestimated the power of one young, plague-addled Red Widow. Genus herself failed to foresee the power of one called Navun. Ah, Navun was one of her Eternity's own guards. How she learned of the rot at the roots of the Thane tree, I cannot say. I know only that she had no taste for the Empress's deceptions. Navun fled the ziggurat and spread the news far and wide. Her words found home in the ears of the gull. Yesha's slave caste. No slaves could hope to challenge the power of an immortal aristocracy. But what about a nobility in disarray? One where the great and powerful would soon fight for scraps of fruit like bare-ribbed dogs. They rose, first singly, then in a tidal wave. The Empress found herself at war. Perhaps she might have won, if not for the Destroyer. It bridled when I called it God-murderer. Surprised I am that it should know so little of the deep track its kind have trekked across our soil. Let us walk those prints now, that it should be enlightened. Ever was Gina served by the Red Widows. She was still Widow Mother, is still, if such a thing has any meaning now. Some among the widow's ranks forswore tenderness, and became instead her permanence's highest guard. Genus herself had been the lowest widow in her order, and she had turned Pan society inside out. How fitting, then, that the last and least of her own widow guard should become her greatest adversary. It has heard of Yesha civil war, of slave with blade of hoe to neck of noble, and noble with point of sword to belly of slave. Into that tempest walked one of its kind, Paxotech. I cannot say why, though perhaps it might someday tell me from whence. Whatever its motive, hither came the Destroyer, even as the Pan turned their ravenous gaze toward the fruit of immortality. Our god of many faces remained satisfied with the scant worship of the vaunts and the commoners. It was an ever-present comfort, a guardian we scarcely thought of. The Destroyer, Paxotech, oh yes, its kind, drove its blade into the pure heart of our guardian. We knew not that it was the god of many faces who kept the root from this world. But in death, many faces' absence was soon felt. In her world already torn by war, where caste let blood of caste,
there came reports of some new woe. Travelers spoke of twisted horrors on the road, but we who relished in the weight of this wall only scoffed. Who knew that the very air could rip, that the world itself could tear and spill like a wineskin under hoof? Oh, how we fought, priest and prince and pauper, side by side, our world's lifeblood drizzling through our fingers as we clutched at the hanging tatters of Yesha's slit throat. Most perished, and I became enmeshed. I thought our tale told, our race run, and yet, among the Pan, there is a saying, why just ask the Rin? I gave the impression perhaps that Yesha was uninhabited at the arrival of the Pan, save for the doe, the wolf, the birds, and the beasts. This is not so. The Rin slink Yesha's canopy on leathery wings. Perhaps they once thought to defend their forest. But Lash and Lure put that to rest. Lash in that no Rin could hope to withstand the onslaught of energy we Pan have learned to draw from Yesha's native crystal. The Flying Ones have no talent for crystal craft. Lure in that under normal circumstances, Rin eggs reach maturity only with great difficulty. I know not who first discovered the potential for symbiosis between our species. Only that it is a whimsical god indeed who sends the most precious resource one kind could hope to acquire out the hind end of the other. As sure as there is iron in the soil of Yesha, there is irony. It was a pad-footed Paxeltech who slew our guardian and brought the root. Would it be so strange to see a Paxeltech drive them from our shores? Perhaps. Perhaps as with Genus and the Voon. The strangeness is the point. It has done me a service unpayable. No reward can suffice. But perhaps, if it cannot be rewarded, it can be equipped. Colket brought war, then wisdom. Its forebears brought the root, but its wisdom stayed the flames, that I might live beyond the hated knot. Take this now, as a token of my gratitude. The Pan must put their faith in action.
Alright, so we got another
not
thing.
Weapons and walls. I forever owe it thanks, as shall the many souls scattered on these steps. To them I must tend. Be well, two-handed warrior. Be strange fate's agent.
Alright. Let's check out the thing we just got. Increases mod duration by 50%, but increases the mod cost. Okay. And our trait of Rugged increases the health of archetype summons. So this is actually pretty good for someone who wants to play the Summoner, or the Engineer, or anything that has a summoned ally. So that's wonderful. Alright, since we basically spent like almost an hour well, not necessarily an hour, but a fair amount of time just listening to that. Let's get moving on to the next bit. Alright, so long as I have a target to hit, I can keep firing indefinitely. Alright. What? How dare you? Alright, so let's get ourselves over to the checkpoint. Talk to the NPC. And then we'll move on to the next section of our journey. Let's see.
Summons me from my ethereal wanderings. Muzar. What kind of beast is this? Paxel Tech. I can share my wanderings with you. But first, I seek the knowing, the truth of nature held within your ark. You want to answer? So I will ask.
So your reward's going to change. It depends on your
so that your ark may be known and your eye may open.
We'll get a different reward based on
from your heart.
Based on the answers we choose.
You are an innkeeper. One of your loyal patrons proclaims he is to be in prison 2 days hence for a crime of which he is innocent. In his final days of freedom, he plans to poison those who have wrongly accused him. You know he speaks true, but you can stop him. A simple slip of Kyber seed powder into his next drink, and he will be bedridden but otherwise unharmed for days. Do you poison him, or do you turn a blind eye to his plots of revenge?
Ooh. I mean, there's no way for him to be able to clear his name if he just poisons them, because he'll still be sent. But if we poison him, it gives us a chance to be able to help prove his innocence.
I see. A handsome and powerful god visits Yesha with the promise to eradicate conflict, disease, and all suffering. In return, he demands a sacrifice, the life of a single young Pan. Do you give him what he asks?
Nope.
Oh, what fun this is!
Because
it is wartime.
It's gonna cause more harm than good.
Ages 8 and 5, live in a territory that has been captured by the enemy. Among the enemy is a Lemire who performs painful experiments that inevitably lead to death. He demands one of your children, the weaker one, giving you 24 hours to bring them to his laboratory. If you refuse, enemy soldiers will come for all of you. Do you give up one of your children, or face the threat of enemy soldiers?
Fascinating.
It has been prophesied that your son would someday bring about a great calamity. Because of this prophecy, a warlord tried to kill him when he was just an infant. Now that your son is grown, he believes the prophecy to be true. He courageously plans to give himself up to the warlord to save the world from the foretold calamity. Do you allow your son to sacrifice himself? Or stop him in order to save his life? Well done. You lead a small clan of warriors fleeing from the enemy. One of your warriors steps into a trap. He is immobilized and badly injured, and a crystal flare soars into the sky. The enemy descends upon you. The warrior cannot be saved. He begs you not to leave him to the enemy's torture. He begs you to slay him yourself. Do you slay the warrior, or leave him to whatever?
Fascinating.
You have chosen your path, sweet beast. Your heart is true. May the power of the doe's eye free you from your incarnate shackles.
Okay, so we got the Dosai. We got the bark skin.
In the arc of every being, there are two eyes. We may see out of either, but most favor one over the other. The Ravager's eye is dynamic, driven, and endlessly hungry. Yet for all its power, its vision is clouded. The eye of the Ravager rarely sees beyond its own satiation. Like an animal chasing its tail, it knows no rest. The doe's eye sees only what is before it. The gift of the doe is subtle, easily missed. It is a most mysterious presence inside oneself, conferring power without force, just as the doe itself cannot be sought, nor tracked, nor hunted. By answering true, sweet beast, you give me a wink, and now the gifts of your dominant eye will be open to you. Would you care to hear a tale? It is well. Do let me know if you change your mind.
Alright, we've had enough.
Else you wish to know? Of me? Or our wonderful world, perhaps? You stand before Medra, spirit of the natural world, daughter of stem and stream. My sisters and I are the glorious weavers of all wild beauty.
So basically she's like a
When
god.
mountain, spring, and sturdy tree trunk take your breath, sweet beast, an immeasurable number. Mother stem and mother stream rely on us to sprawl and grow. Though we don't often commune with beasties such as you. Not in this age. Especially not since what happened to Keula. A tragedy, beast. Tragedy most cruel. Keula was fascinated by mortals, unlike most of us. She made herself no secret. And you worshipped her with your short lives. The root found her there. We godlings are not easily unwoven, however. But perhaps it would be better if it had. For what remains? But we hold happy thoughts. Regret only wastes one life with another. Very well, sweet
Alright.
beast. Be on your way.
So, the thing that she talked about was the boss that you can give, that you get an item right before you fight it. It's a charm, so it'll give you a benefit. But it's also something that you can get something else with.
This is it.
it's a charm. Okay, we didn't get anything. But that charm is more or less necessary for her,
That's it. For now.
And with hearing that story, it makes a little bit more sense on what it is. But, let's just get ourselves moving back. We may be facing... We may very well be facing that boss, because this instance did spawn. Or, the NPC spawned on this map. So, we may be lucky.
More bad news.
Here we go. But here we go. We hear the pan. And since we exhausted his stuff, let's go ahead and go here. If this is the instance that we're... What the heck are they doing? If this is the instance that, we're needing... Again, I don't know why I'm not able to access Narut. Unless it's just one of those things... Twisted Chantry. Unless we just have to wait it out. But it does seem a little bit unfair and kind of screwy that I lose out on getting something after the fact. But it is what it is. We'll be able to get to it anyway. Either that, or it's the fact that Narut just no longer exists because of the choice we made. Getting the Aphelion. I don't know.
Okay, this is it.
Yay, explosions. We also got Bark Skin, which that's a bit more important since we're not playing 2 summons. We get a flat amount of damage reduction. Really? So let's see. Doge? Would you mind? Whew.
No more room.
They're very much like the enemies at Corsus. Such a good boy.
Damn. Is it over?
All right. So, we'll see what boss we deal with in this dungeon. We just may have, unfortunately, may not have been able to move.
Is it good?
Really? Have to wait till all the rock gets out. So, we may just very well just have not been able to get the instance then. It's fine. I'm not... That's what adventure mode is kind of about. The opportunity to get alternate stuff. Or anything like that. But it still sucks that I can't get access to Naru. Like I said, that has to be a situation where... Definitely has to be a situation where, where it's because I destroyed the place. I destroyed it instead of getting the Aphelion. Oh, this enemy.
Looks like I'm full up.
Significantly easier than they were in the first... than it was in the first game. Soul Link. Item. Or ring. And this summons lifesteal 5% of base damage dealt, which returns to the wearer as health. Oh, so you basically can get lifesteal from your summons. You'll find that, let's see, this is... cures root rot. Nope. Didn't want to do that. Didn't want to use that. Rarely use items. Let's see, increases evade window. There we go. What was I saying? Oh yeah. A lot of the items, or at least the rings, and charms that you get in a world typically pertain more to the archetype that you earn. That's there. Alright. He's still here. That shield comes in real handy. It's really handy. I can't English, apparently. But yeah, that ring for the summons, the lifesteal for the summon, the lifesteal summons, for the summon lifesteal. Bleh. Again, I can't English today. Is very good to use on the summoner archetype, because it requires you to sacrifice your own HP to summon these creatures. So, let's see, there's nothing but the abyss down there, so very useful.
Well, at least that's over.
I can definitely say the cube gun is much more useful closer range than longer range, than more of a long range. Because you do have to wait for it to... You do have to wait for the projectiles to come back to you.
can't carry any more of that.
But, since I do have the infinite ammo, I don't have to worry about running out. So, silver linings and everything. What? Oh, hello. Okay. Got everything. Rest here, recharge everything. Now we hit the boss. This looks like almost like the Ravager temple. Oh, well that's interesting. Madness. Wonder what that's about. Okay, so it's only vulnerable when you have that madness effect. Or at least when it's glowing like that. Alright. Do this. My madness. Oh, okay. Ambrosia Driftwood. Alright.
That's right. You scratched
Platoon.
the wrong guy. Wow.
Revivalist. Let's see. Let's put that there.
No more room.
But that was an interesting fight. Let's see. Can't get up there. Or that way. It's up here. Nothing, obviously. Alright. Here's the exit. Let's get out of here. Oof. Ow. Ugh. Ow. And I think we're actually... Yes, we are. This is an area where we can get the, where we can get the things that we need to... for the Blood Moon altar. And we'll be able to grab possibly the item for the Summoner archetype.
What is it now? All right then.
Let's see. Fargazer. Ah, this.
Okay.
This is actually a pretty powerful... No, I didn't put mutator. Alright, so calls forth the Eye of the Legion to gaze at the player's aim target. For every 0.25 seconds Fargazer focuses on a target within 25 meters, the Stack of Madness status is applied for 5 seconds. Each stack deals 3 damage per second at max 10 stacks and lasts for 30 seconds. So, for 30 seconds, let's see. Stack of Madness is applied for 5 seconds. Each stack deals 10 stacks. It'll last for 30 seconds. Oh, that's the, So basically we can get a... This is actually a pretty powerful thing. Come over here. firing range. Let's see. Alright, it didn't do anything there. Or at least something that we could see. But it's supposed to be able to build up some damage over time effect that can last a fair amount. So we'll I mean, it'll only last for 5 seconds, but it can stack up to 10 times. So we can get 30 damage per... 30 damage per stack. Alright, and since we have this moon here, with the way this is... We also have new enemies.
Okay, this is it.
We want to be paying attention to looking for these, looking for these glowing, red orbs that, that'll give us... that when we destroy them... they will give us, if they deign to show up, it'll give us parts of the wolf ring, increases max stamina by 25 and movement speed by 10%. The goal is to be able to find them, and just basically, like, those. We gain a Blood Moon Essence each time we kill one, and there's an altar that we use that we can get to, that, that will allow us to exchange these Blood Moon Essences. Alright, so we got 4. We're just keeping an eye on the... more or less the horizon, because these guys could show up. Charge melee. But the goal is to destroy them, as many of them. I mean, there's a finite amount that spawn, but we want to try to find them and get them, so that way we can, and I have no idea what this bird thing is, either. But there's stuff that's behind it. And it's really... But, let's go ahead and do this. Alright, let's check out our inventory. Yep, 4 Blood Moon Essences. But it's pretty close to time. Let's go ahead and head back to Ward 13. Woof. But anyway, so there we go. So we are getting pretty close to being able to unlock the Summoner archetype for just in general. We already had the Engineer. Once we're able to get to Losum, we should be able to get to the Alchemist. And then the others are just basically have other special unlock conditions that'll take us some time to get. But anyway, we're gonna continue to play this out. I was hoping to get the Ravager as the fight because I like the weapon that you get from the Ravager more. But it's fine. I mean, we're eventually gonna have to go after the Guardian anyway. So anyway, thank you all so much for dropping by, watching, and hanging out. And I will see you next time.